Hello everyone, this is Lord Zero the Nightmare. Go by Lord Zero on Dual Network. And today we're going to go over some combos that the machine deck that I have here can typically pull off. This first one is going to be Cyber Dragon DNA Surgery Chimera Tech combo coupled with Machina and Jinzo stuff all together. So assuming that these cards are already set, this is all just assuming we have this stuff already. So we got special the Cyber Dragons, then normal summon the one, make Cybernova. We already got our stuff set, so we'll activate DNA Surgery, make everything a machine. Cybernova effect will detach and then it targets, so you can special Cyber Dragon right away. And then we're going to take our opponent's field, all their face-up monsters, and we're just going to fuse them with that because we can. And we'll make Chimera Tech Fortress, who will gain 1,000 attack per monster. And you don't have to use all of your monsters, so the smart thing to do is just field wipe your opponent with it. Now we're going to ditch Jinzo to Special Fortress, and then activate Call of the Haunted to summon Jinzo back. Now we have Trap Protection, and we probably have a solid OTK right there. 24, 25, 21, and however many monsters they had plus your Cyber Dragon. Anywhere from 2 to 3, 4,000. Next up, we have Machina OTK combo. That's going to use some level 8s, gear frame, redox, and of course Machina Fortress. So start by summoning gear frame, add Fortress to hand, and we'll ditch Fortress for Fortress. Ditch Perfect Machine King for Fortress. Stack those two for any rank 7 that you need at the time. Big Eye or Draco Sack. We'll go with Draco Sack because we can spam some more stuff here. Immediate detach 2 tokens. We've still have Redox and Machina Peacekeeper, which is an Earth machine. We'll ditch those. Special summon Perfect Machine King. Equip Gear Frame to Perfect Machine King. Ditch Cannon from hand. Special Fortress back from grave. And that's a solid 4,000 attack boost to Perfect Machine King, so he's 47 plus the 25 from Machina Fortress and 26 from Draco Sack. If you didn't use his effect to pop something, he can attack. So, and you've still got 2 Earths engraved to banish for Redux on your next turn. I'm going to show another little combo here. A different one. Machina Gear Frame, add probably Fortress or Cannon if you need it. If you already have the Fortress, go for Cannon. Typically I go for Cannon after I've got 2 Fortresses either in hand or in grave. We're special Gear Spring Spirit because we can make a monster 0 attack. And all you need is at least a machine in the grave. No other monsters but machines in grave. So if Redox in there, just ban something out and special summon them, and then summon Gear Spring Spirit. And drop all your stuff on the field. Limiter removal. Their one monster is 0 attack, but you're gonna attack them with Machina Fortress at 5,000. Remember to activate limiter removal in the damage step, so there's not really any way that it can be stopped. And that's gonna hurt a lot. Also, we can ditch and we can special summon Perfect Machine King instead of Fortress because he'll gain an even bigger attack boost. He's going to gain 1500 plus limiter removal. He's going to be pretty big. And you have him crash right into the 0 attack monster, probably for game right there. Next up, we're going to go through a Power Bond OTK, but one that relies on more than just the one fusion monster. This is going to deal with Chimera Tech Over Dragon. Summon Gearframe, grab Fortress, just put extra cards into play, Power Bond with Cyber Dragon and all the Machina Fortresses and Gearframe. Gonna do it with the Fortresses. Any level 8s in your hand, you're probably gonna want to keep them, not use them towards the summoning, but send the Fortresses. And here's why. You'll summon the Over Dragon with Power Bond. He's gonna be really freaking huge. Probably like with 4 monsters, he's like 60 something hundred attack. And then ditch your level 8s for Machina Fortresses. And now you've got 2 Machina Fortresses and a Chimera Tech Over Dragon that can attack. At this point, with this what I did, you can attack 4 times at like almost 8,000 damage per. So you use that, go over every single monster, and then if they're somehow miraculously still alive, you beat into them directly with Machina Fortresses, which you can then main phase 2 overlay for your Draco Sack or something to be a little more defensive. This combo is going to be making use of Call the Haunted and Armored Unit, Machina Armored Unit. We're gonna use those to get extra searches from either Scrap Recycler or Machina Peacekeeper. So we'll summon Scrap Recycler, whose effect goes off. He's like a Foolish Burial. You send Machina Fortress to grave. I never know if it's Machina or Machina. Just putting that out there. Activate Machina Armored Unit, set Call of the Haunted, and pass turn. When they beat over Scrap Recycler, Machina Armored Unit will go off and you'll be able to special summon Machina Peacekeeper from the deck. And you can also activate Call the Haunted. Let's say they MST Call the Haunted, you can chain it to special summon Scrap Recycler. Even though it'll be destroyed, its effect will still go off and you'll still get that extra search and put another Machina Fortress in grave. The same kind of works with the Machina Peacekeeper. If you call the Haunted Machina Peacekeeper, when, let's say they activate MST on Call the Haunted and you chain it and grab Peacekeeper. Peacekeeper will be special summoned, Call the Haunted will be destroyed, it'll destroy Peacekeeper, and his effect will go off and you'll get Gearframe to hand. And that's really good to guarantee yourself an extra search. And that's why Call the Haunted's in there at least at 1 instead of just 2 Iron Call or something. This next combo is going to make use of Stronghold the Moving Fortress because you can XC with trap monsters. So we're going to set a whole bunch of back row. Sometimes I even set cards like Power Bond and stuff just to kind of make it look like there's a lot of back row and hope that opponent won't MST the one card I really need. So we'll summon Gearframe, get our Fortress, or a cannon. All depends on what you need. And on the next turn, we'll summon Stronghold, XZ for Geargia X. Assuming the Machina Gearframe is still alive. If this is like a first turn kind of thing, there's a chance the opponent might just set a monster, set some back row, you know, set up play, something like that. So this could happen. then now on your following turn, you special summon, detach, search, and then normal summon, and get your other fortress. And why not activate Call of the Haunted, get that gear frame you detached, exit again, detach, search again. You get all the stuff you need all in like one big play. Not to mention, now that you've got all that stuff there on the field, you've also got all the Machine of Fortress resources in your hand and in play. Again, keep in mind, Call of the Haunted isn't destroyed, for those that don't know. But it's okay, because in this deck you never really need, you never need more than the spaces for spell traps on your field. You're never gonna not have a place to play something. So we'll ditch fortress for fortress, and then ditch cannon or whatever for fortress. And you can either, depending on what their field is, typically there's back row or something, so you usually want to go for somebody, Dracossack or Big Eye. I never really use Master of Blades anymore. I'm actually swapping them for a second Big Eye. But yeah, we'll go for Dracossack to pop back row. Spew tokens to the field for monster presence. And just start attacking with that, and then we have all our stuff in play, and now we just sit here and deal with this. And, top deck, something like that, Machine of Fortress, bam. Battle phase. 25, 23, 23. Sure. Activate Machina armored unit, so if they do beat over something, there's plenty of weaker earth machines on the deck, so especially if Machine of Fortress is beat over while you have Machina armored unit, let's say you crash him with a 2500 attack monster, you'll kill their monster, you'll destroy one of the cards they control with his effect, and then you'll still get your special summon off of Machina armored unit, going for either gear frame or scrap recycler or peacekeeper, whoever you need at the time, whether you need the extra search or you just want to go for gear frame and beat into their face a little bit with another 1800, because that's all during the battle phase still. And then maybe main phase 2, you might still have another gear frame or something already on the field from the beginning of the turn, so you can exit Geargia on X right there, or depending what they still have on the field, you can go Maestro or Silent Honor Arc. So there's a lot of different combos with this deck, and they all kind of work together. You usually come up with a couple different ways you can make some of these combos. You can do it more than one at a time that's different. They all combo together pretty darn well. Also, just a reminder that this video is just to show combos, but these are some typical things that you could come up with that you might be able to pull off with the stuff that you have, and these are different ways you could go. But yeah, this is assuming that you've done your first turn, kind of set some stuff, summon something, and then assuming you still have it there to work with next turn. And even if you don't, the deck can still, it's meant to be able to still make plays. It's not reliant on still having to have something there. But these are some of the big power combos in case you do. The kind of stuff you can make your opponent feel sorry they left you alive for. That being said, the deck, if somebody leaves you with 100 life points, yeah, this deck can make a big comeback and make them pay for it. If you're still alive, this deck can pull out a big giant comeback win. because it's got all those rank 7s, spam, 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 big things, and then boom, it's just got like all these big monsters that are just gonna crush everything and attack free game. With the big guy in the Drago set, you'll be able to clear out the problem cards, and then you'll just be able to beat over everything else. So yeah, it's the deck.